Hello, hello. Thank you so much for checking out Plugin. My name is Lexi. I'm the leader of Growth Co. And here at Growth Co, we are a boundary breaking community for people in their 20s and 30s. We are trying to grow as better human beings. We're trying to learn how to adult as young 20s and 30-year-olds. And we can explore spirituality. So thank you so much for joining us. This is Plugin. Plugin is our music segment where we try to connect through music. It doesn't matter what genre of music we are exploring, and it doesn't matter what styles you're into. This is a way for us to collaborate as a community through the universal language of music. Again, thank you so much for joining us. If you didn't check out our episode 1, which covered a song by the Ghost of Paul Revere, then we highly encourage you to do so. We'll leave the link in the description to that first video. Today, we will be hearing from the Dirty Heads for a song called Fear and Love. Let's listen to JT's explanation as to why he chose Fear and Love for this week's Plugin episode.
Hello all, 'tis I, JT Jones, the coolest guy ever to exist. I chose the song Fear and Love by the Dirty Heads because it's a sick and groovy tune. Also, because, the lyrics explain it pretty well. Fear and love, sometimes people tend to mix it up. Tell me which side are you standing on. You can complicate it all you want, but in the end, it's all just fear and love. Meaning, people confuse those two feelings a lot because they're both very strong feelings. Which side are you standing on? Meaning, are you going to live your life in fear of the what ifs, or are you going to be accepting and love everything and everyone for what it is and what they are? And you can complicate it all you want. In the end, it's all just fear and love, meaning the black and white of it is there's fear and there's love. There's a lot of gray in between, but that's just how it is, and you can choose to be afraid or accepting and love everyone.
Thank you, JT, for explaining that. We are so looking forward to diving into this song today. And before we get started, I would like to note that if there's anything that you know about JT Jones, I can almost guarantee that it's that he loves the Dirty Heads. I mean, that's something I swear he should walk around with it on his forehead. It just says, my favorite band's the Dirty Heads. I think that's awesome, and I'm excited to check this song out. I've never heard it before, so let's get right into it.
Fear and love. Sometimes people tend to mix it up. Tell me which side are you standing on? Complicate it all you want.
This is one of those songs like you have to move when you're hearing it. It just sounds so good.
I wrap my heart up in sage. I am anointing the skin, the flower braid in your hair. Your tongue is wet to the wind, and if the water is clean, that's a good place to begin. To wash
This
away
reminds
all
me
the
of
fear
summer.
and let the laughter back in.
So tell me, what are you running from? If we don't stop, it goes on and on. So tell me, what are you running from? 'Cause in the end, it's only fear and love.
It's so catchy.
Sometimes people tend to mix it up. Tell me, which side are you standing on? You can complicate it all you want,
Which I'm sure we will.
but in the end, it's only fear and
I'm
love.
just out here catching feelings.
Ooh, that's a new singer.
Sexual healing in that morning, yeah, that's dynamite. Sometimes I lose my sight, sometimes that dice ain't rolling right. That's life, yeah, that's good times. That's Jimmy Walker, that's dynamite, yeah.
So tell me, what are you running from? If we don't stop, it goes on and on.
I love the culture in this video too. It's nice to see something other than what I'm used to.
Fear and love. Sometimes people tend to mix it up.
Like, I already feel like I know the words.
Tell me, which side are you standing on? You can complicate it all you want, but in the end, it's only fear and love.
Those bongo drums, or I'm not sure if that's what they're called.
Most people tend
How
to
sweet.
mix it up. Tell me which side are you standing on? You can complicate it all you want, but in the end it's only fear and love.
Fear and Love by the Dirty Heads. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled up the lyrics because I just wanted to quickly see them laid out in poetry style, because I think something that's going to be interesting with Plug In is that although this song was super catchy and you just like, you can learn the lyrics really easily and just sing along, like the message is actually super important. Okay, so this is what the chorus said. Fear and love, sometimes people tend to mix it up. Tell me, which side are you standing on? You can complicate it all you want, but in the end, it's only fear and love. And then the verses have some other cool stuff too, but that chorus is just like, what songwriting skills? Because like, that's such a big idea and big concept, but they were able to get it down so simply and so like in just a few amount of words. And I talk like crazy, so a few amount of words is just like a foreign concept to me anyways. But this is so cool because it does remind me, like in episode 1 we talked about being taken advantage of or not getting what you necessarily deserve out of a relationship, and this kind of reminds me of that just a little bit, for the sense of fear and love and getting the two of those mixed up as young adults, especially trying to navigate relationships, but not necessarily romantic relationships. This can also include work relationships, parental relationships, family relationships, friendships, anything. There are some things that present themselves as love that we should actually be wary of and a little fearful of. And there are some things that present themselves as fear that are really supposed to come from places of love. So I feel like this is a perfect thing for us to be talking about, because fear and love do get mixed up often, and we can complicate it if we want. There are a lot of times I know in my personal life where red flags, things that I should have been fearful of, I justified and I made them more complicated than they were. And the real answer was, girl, you just need to get the heck out of there. But I would sit there and justify it and just complicate it when it did not need to be complicated at all. And again, that example was just a relationship, romantic example, but it does not even have to be that. In the end, it's only fear and love. Which side are you standing on? That question is interesting to me too, because it seems that fear and love are pitted against each other, and having those two options, it's like Coke and Pepsi, or in politics right now, all the division that we're seeing, it's like you have to choose one. When presented with two things, you do normally, it's encouraged that you choose one, but sometimes fear and love can go hand in hand. You can be afraid of something you love, but not in the sense of like you're afraid of it, but loving something can be scary and fearful, just because that's a huge commitment. That's you being vulnerable. Love in itself can be a fearful and scary thing. It's not supposed to be, but I can definitely relate to and understand when people feel afraid of going into relationships or starting new jobs. All of those things can be attached to fear, when really they may be something loving and nurturing and the best environment you've ever experienced. So I think it's also, I think it's important to note too that this song may also be hinting at the fact that we always have a choice if we're going to look at life through the lens of fear or through the lens of love, because there are a ton of things that you may initially want to be afraid of that are going to be the best things ever for you, and vice versa. You may love things that are going to end up being horrendous decisions that you make, but it's all about the lens in which we choose to see the world. Are we going to be afraid of everything and never take the risks that could be life-changing for us? Or are we going to love things no matter what? There is a risk at looking at life through the lens of love as well, because like I said, you could get hurt really easily and you could make poor, naive decisions, but loving things is always going to be better than being afraid of them in the sense of perspective. Fear's a liar, and fear can hold you back, and it can cage you and keep you in this container that you'll never grow from. But in love, you will always grow, you will always be better, and you can always learn from love as well. This song is really, really interesting, and I hope that you add it to your own personal playlist, but it will be added to the Growth Co plug-in playlist. And if you would like access to that playlist, please text the number below that you see on the screen. This is also the same number that you can request or submit songs for plug-in in the future. We will continue this series for as long as possible, so we need all the song suggestions and requests that we can get. Also, please check us out on social media at The Growth Co Life on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you so much for checking out our YouTube channel and for tuning in to this episode of Plug In. I hope to see you next time. Bye.